Another one that it's fun. It's fun because you can joke with them. You can, and these girls, our managers have probably the most difficult, most disgusting job you can have. I mean, you're sitting there and you're taking care of a bunch of stinky teenage boys. And moms, you know what that's like. Multiply that like times 100 because it stinks in our locker rooms. It's disgusting. And our girls, we have so much of them. But, and yeah, they complain. And yeah, they drove me nuts like no other this year. It was frustrating. Yeah, you guys should be. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Where's the other one? And Clarissa over there. Because you girls drove me nuts this year. But I love them to death. And they're just wonderful. I appreciate them so much. Clarissa Chavez. 2.5 years feels like 12. See what I mean? They think they know more than we do. Yeah. Right, Simone? Dynamic duo. Let's see. Crystal! We're done after this, right? Yeah. Alright. I can delete you from my contacts list and everything, right? Crystal gives me more grief than any other parent. But I've also been around her longer than just about every other parent. But her boys just, Forrest did everything he could for us. Stone has potential to be amazing. And at times gives us glimpses where it's ridiculous how good he is. Probably the most fundamentally sound football player that we've coached because you are capable of doing everything. And on the defensive side of the ball, you are mean. You're mean, even though as small as you are, there's a mean, angry man in there that just comes out. And it's awesome because when he shines, it's unreal. And it's been wonderful coaching you. And I told your mom that even when Forrest was here, you're a more sound football player than your brother. And that's even when Forrest was here. I can see that in you. And it's shown. And man, I'm thankful that I got to coach you. I appreciate it. Number 5, Stone Flores. All right. This kid will come in and tell us, "Put me in, coach. I'm going to return it for a touchdown." Each time he said that, he did it. Each time he said it, he walked in and he did it. And it's like, are you kidding me? We're like, no, we can't put you in there. You're a quarterback. But we put him in there. What did he do? He scored. And that was his approach. But he made a commitment. He made a commitment during track and over the summer that he was going to put everything in this year, and he did. He gave us everything he possibly could. His attitude, he was our captain, he was our leader. He was man, just a wonderful kid to be around. And he deserved first team all conference. Got second team all conference, he got honorable mention all conference, and he was just our stud. And Dad, I asked you to come up and get this for him, but thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to coach him. Number 4, Simeon Freeland.
Great pleasure to coach.
Where's that dress? Where's that dress? I had the pleasure of working with this kid in the classroom and being able to see what he struggles with, what he succeeds at, everything. Being able to see, oh man, you talk about gray hairs and everything like that. Tony did this, Tony did that. We need to have a meeting with Tony about this. He drove me nuts, but it was okay. It didn't bother me. I'll do anything for him. And he did anything for us. And we know he would do anything for us, without a doubt. And man, yeah, I made that bet with him just because you and I could make bets like that. And we could joke around, and we could have fun. But it's amazing how strong this kid is. It's freakish how strong he is. He gave us everything on the football field, no matter where we put him. If I told Tony I need a sack right now, or I need you to stop this right now, he would do it. He learned over the years too. He definitely improved, and he grew as a person. And I can't wait to see what he does, because we're very proud of you, Tony, for everything you've given us. Honorable mention all conference number 75, Antonio Gonzalez. Where's that dress at? You gonna wear the dress, right? You wanted him?
I saw varsity.
The reason why we have Coach Al do this is because me and Coach Pete really don't like to talk too much in front of a big crowd like this.
Says we'd have to censor me.
Paul,
Huh? Can't hear you?
no, I can't hear you.
This award here could have been given to a few players on the defense this year for the JV. Really came down to two players that I really had a hard time to figure out which one it was going to be. Both these players I could depend upon in the classroom and on the field. The one that I chose to give this to, though, he gives us everything at the JV level, everything he's got. And next year he's going to make a very good varsity player. He better do the work in the weight room and everything it takes on the field, because he has so much potential. Okay. The other player I'm going to mention, because you know what, he as a freshman was really stand out for me as well. That's Austin. Okay. Yes, Austin. It was between you and Efren. Efren De La Rosa. He's our good player of the year.
All right, this next award is for JV Offensive Player of the Year. And it is my extreme pleasure to have known this guy since he was a 5th grader. He'd come on out with his 2 older brothers to our summer practices and would look better as a 10-year-old than a lot of seniors. This is a kid that works incredibly hard. He didn't just get this award just because he's there every day. He didn't get this award because of the position he plays. There were a few guys who made him look incredibly good. And they were Ishmael Rivera, Dylan Swanton, Vicente Sanchez, David Uresti, Gabe Montoya. Everybody who played on that JV offensive line paved the way for not only a great passing attack, but a great rushing attack. The guy he handed the ball off to was a 3rd stringer who came on in after everybody else fumbled their opportunity. When you're ineligible, when you miss practice, hell, if you get hurt, somebody will take your job. And number 8 came in and paved the way real great for our offense and put us in great position to succeed. I could have gave this award to 10 guys on this offense, but it's going to go to our quarterback, Pablo Martinez. freshman threw for 1,000+ yards, was responsible for 20 touchdowns and only 10 turnovers. Pablo. All right, this is another award, and I love honoring the young players in our program. I love working with the young players in our program, the 9th and 10th graders. This next award is for our Rookie of the Year. This traditionally goes to the kid who makes the biggest impact at the varsity level as a freshman. And there's a lot of things you can say about this guy. I've known him since he was a 7th grader. He comes in as a 13-year-old looking like a grown man. Okay, I've seen this guy working out. He has more hair on his chest than me. He's a monster out there. He not only did he look the part, he was not a kid who looked like Tarzan and played like Jane. He was Tarzan all the way. And I don't care how big you are. I don't care how tough you are. It's tough for a freshman to come on out and play 2 positions at the varsity level. And this kid was a 2-way starter for us because he earned it. He earned it in the summer. He earned it year-round. He earned it with his play. He earned it with his ability to pick up the playbook. And on both sides of the ball, he was fantastic to watch. And there were some miscues here and there. There was definitely a little deer in the headlights I seen on film, but we don't want you to stop being the Rookie of the Year, Devin. We want you to be an all-state football player. We want you to be a Division I college football player in 4 years. The sky is the limit for you, man. Viking Rookie of the Year, Devin Prescott.
Okay, the award I'm giving away is the most improved player. This kid is really good in his academics. When Coach Al talks about starting the weight room in January, this is the kid that's there. This kid waits by the door for me to get here out of work, goes to CEC, gets out of school at 2:25. So he waits a half hour for me every single day to work out. Last January, this was the only kid that was in there. He started lifting just the bar, got up to close to 185 pounds benching. He's only a freshman last year. This year he's a sophomore. But he is the most improved. He also was a starter on our defense. Had an unfortunate injury that sidelined him for a little bit, but he has a bright future with us, and that's Giovanni Calderon.
Come on, Diego's grandma. He knows little Diego.
Alright. This kid, in one game, we had to put him back there to return a kick. I'm kind of telling him, you know, you're going to get one, you're going to take one back, you're going to take one back. He gets out there, and he takes it back to the house. Scores a touchdown. Young man. Next play, he's on kickoff team. Shoots down there, first one down the field, makes the tackle, pins him deep. And it's like, all right, most of us would struggle with just running down the field one time. He not only did it full speed and gave everything, and shook a man like it was ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if we have that on film, Rob, but oh my goodness. To see the way he shook this kid was unreal. It was just such a sweet move. And after he does that, we got to put him back out there on kickoff team. And he goes down there and flies down there faster than everybody else on the team. It shouldn't happen because he should be a little tired and the rest of you should be fresh. But he did it. And it wasn't just that one game. It was throughout the whole season. He was the man getting down there first and making the tackles. he was down there disrupting every return. And he is our Special Teams Player of the Year, Slim Shady, number 87.
Another award for you guys is our Defensive Lineman of the Year, and really this could have went to everybody. You know, we played some pretty good run defense this year compared to years past. We had more sacks this year than we have in the past 3 or 4 years. This guy was the leader of the pack. He's the most impressive player with quarterback hurries, sacks, and tackles for loss. Our Defensive Lineman of the Year is Omar Goreca.
All right. We have a coach that's not here with us tonight, but he was a huge advocate in this young man earning the position that he did. And this kid just brought it. I mean, he just brings it like no other. Whether it's, you know, picking off the ball, putting him back there to return also. You know, we had a few guys return kicks for touchdowns. It was hard. Special teams, you know, Player of the Year was difficult because we had a few guys that could return the ball and score touchdowns. And we scored a lot of touchdowns on returns. But this kid had to get out there and play defense and sit out there and be that last man standing for us and secure that we were going to be safe on defense with him back there. We knew we were left in good hands because he was our last line of defense. And our defensive back of the year is number 8, Josh Shipley. Could have had it on special teams. You were playing for that one too. All right. Like we said, he made first team all conference. What was it? 80 tackles? 90? Finished with 90 tackles. Should have had over 100. You should have had over 100 tackles. Yeah, you were really close. Well, you should have had them. You should have stayed on those grades. You should have been there every week. I'm gonna ride you forever. That's just gonna happen. But this kid deserved it, man. He's just mean, like I said. He doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he packs that punch, but he's mean. And we saw it last year in him. And that's what we love. And you deserve this, man. You really shined out there. You really did a hell of a job for us. Our linebacker of the year, number 34, Nick Montez.
This next award is for our Offensive Lineman of the Year. And I'd like to say, as the whole group, everybody worked incredibly hard. I think all 4 or all 5 of our linemen were 80% for our summer attendance. They worked really hard. They might even be higher. I think out of those 5 kids, only probably 5 total misses out of, you know, a chance to miss 100 days. We've only had 5 misses out of those 5 kids. 3 guys were fortunate enough to start and play in every game of the year. We had a little, had to play musical chairs due to some injuries and some eligibility issues. But I'd like to say that Canoli and Omar did a great job on the offensive line this year. They finished second to our guy who graded out the highest. What I do is I break down each and every play for our offensive linemen and grade them out on an A through F scale. And the guy who the film did not lie, carried out his assignment, did his job, was probably missed only 2 practices all year, incredibly hard worker. He's only a young kid. He's only a sophomore, and I expect 2 more years of this. Our offensive lineman of the year is Josias Chavez.
All right. Coaching wide receivers is something where what you want to see is effort. You want them firing off the ball. You want their hands up. You want them in the right position. You want them running routes correctly. You want them to just stand out above the rest. And it requires so much effort when you're going against DBs that are so tough. And we should have been throwing the ball to this kid a hell of a lot more, because we know the playmaker that he is. We know his capabilities, and we know that he has so much to give to this team, and he has given to this team. And although he drives me nuts at times, I'll miss him still. Number 5, Stone Flores, wide receiver.
Get tired.
All right. I think I've talked about this kid quite a bit already, so we'll make it short and sweet. Chip, sometimes I made fun of you because he was returning one ball. I think he made a pick or something during practice, and he's running, and I'll make fun of you because he's running. Looked like he was carrying a purse. It was just so I gave him grief all season. But then we put him running the ball in the backfield, and man, to see this kid explode out of there sometimes and then just take on the hits. It was like, all right, I'm going to lower my shoulder. How much you weigh, 160? 140? 140 pounds, but he would just lay into people. And he'd drop his shoulder and put you on your back. And that's what's awesome to see. Josh Shipley, our offensive back of the year. All right, I just brought up both of these because I think our team knows who our offensive player of the year was. I think you guys can all agree who our offensive player of the year was. It wasn't something that coaches had to sit there and contemplate. It wasn't something where we had to argue or discuss. It was unanimous. I mean, and it was unanimous because of leadership, because of effort, because of just everything that he brought day in and day out to the practice field. And I'm bummed he's not here. I'm bummed that, you know, we don't get to say goodbye to him here at the banquet, because he's a special kid. And he guaranteed, he kept telling us that he was going to give us everything and do everything, and he did. And he gave us everything. Against Match Buff, we were hurt. We were struggling. And we pretty much had to say, just run the ball, Sam. And if you're watching that game and you're looking at us as coaches and saying, what the heck are they doing? That's what we had to do. We had to put the ball in his hands, and we had to let him go. And we had to rely on him. And he pulled it out for us. He won the game for us. And in that game, he said, let me return it. I'll take it back. And he did. That's what I mean. He's done it a couple times where he's told us he was going to do it, and he did it. And it's ridiculous, because that is not easy. But Simeon Freeland is our offensive player of the year.
Dad says that. I'm just doing this.
Shoot here, man. to talk about you some more? Yeah? I'm not going to talk about how mean you are, how much you drove us nuts, being a knucklehead, but you earned it. You earned it with your defensive play, you earned it with tackles, you earned it with the way you approach the game. And Nick Montez is our defensive player of the year. Are you sure about that? All right. These are pretty much top that you can get as far as our awards and our last two awards. But Jim Strand taught school here, and they had an award named after him. When I went to school here, I had him as a teacher. He taught Colorado history to me back in 1988, I believe. But fantastic teacher. I think his whole family went into education. His dad, I remember being a substitute at Skinner, and it's something, education is extremely important to this family, and that's the reason this award has been named after him for so long. But it was just something where we had a serious battle for who received the Jim Strand Award for the highest GPA. And to our knowledge, as far as we know and everything that we have received, this young man just stood out above the rest. And he's a hell of a football player for us and a wonderful kid to be around. He's number 69, Elijah Perez Canoli. He went to a Nuggets game. Our Don Evans Award is for the team MVP. Don Evans was here when I was in school too. It's like, man, you too? Who else did that? Yep. You remember Mr. Evans? Yep. It's just weird. Man, I'm getting old. No, it's our team MVP, and like I said, you knew our offensive player of the year. You knew, you know, our kid this year, our young man that just we owe so much to for giving us everything that we asked of him. And I hate to see him go because he was a wonderful kid to have around this school. He's a great kid to know. And I'm extremely proud of him. And I hope he comes back to work with Coach Pete in track and just keep pushing himself, because the kid has a bright future. He's probably going to be a politician, Dad. He should be a politician because he is. He can say the right things like no other. But Simeon Freeland was our team MVP. All right. As far as I know, there is more food. If some of you want more sausage or anything else that's back, and we do have cake also. If you want to stick around for cake, we will get the cake cut. Everybody have a piece of cake, and we thank you for everything.
Yay!